Evan looks around him, imagining them all to be actors auditioning for small but critical roles. Cyclist walking in a hurry. Woman popping into a shop. Lady chatting on her mobile. And a man on a mission. They each brought so much to their parts, yet all were understated too.
Where are you?
For discussion.
The best art occurs in everyday life. It just needs observing as if it were performance.
Oh, shut up, Evan. There's a friend of Meredith's here, Lucy. I'm feeding her.
It was not what he needed, having to make polite conversation with some imbecilic teenager. Meredith's friend would hopefully be gone by the time he returned. That would be worth the price of the coffee.
It's Daddy.
I've been trying to reach you.
I got a call for something.
Is Lucy with you?
No.
So where is she?
School friends. Just as she texted, my agent rang. This audition came up.
I was worried, Norman. Our children are the priority.
Her name's Meredith Millhauser. Hashtag slightly ridiculous name. I'll give you the address. They live in Crouch End. Probably in some fuck-off house.
You pick her up. I'd like some wine.
Millhauser was, as Evan had often pointed out, a distinctive name. He was older than her, but could easily have a daughter Lucy's age. Things had ended badly on the eve of the new millennium.
How was it? Who is this girl?
Meredith, a friend.
What, like a good friend? I haven't heard of her.
Maybe because you don't know the names of all 175 people in my year.
Dinner's in the oven.
Why didn't you say?
I just did, Norman. How was your audition? What was it for?
TV thing, cough and a sneeze.
Cough and a spit, isn't it? Are we talking drama?
You don't believe me, do you? I was awful anyway.
Were they nice, Meredith's family?
Not particularly. Loaded. God knows what he does.
Unless she's the breadwinner. What are their names?
Catherine and Evan. How's that for instant recall?
Evan Millhauser. What a crazy, ridiculous, not to say brutal coincidence.
I can't sleep.
Ed. Jenny, please, I'm really not.
Evan was worried about his film, his chance to move into a different medium. He couldn't afford to mess up the casting.
What a ridiculous nerd he was.
He could wreck the project before shooting a single frame.
Only a fucking BBC editor. Radio drama. But still, we're inviting them round.
You can't pester these people, Norman.
I'm not. I haven't mentioned being an actor. Although my LinkedIn request is still pending.
There had been a month when she'd written to Evan most days. Each letter had included a reason why they should still be a couple. She would have continued writing had Jill not said that the courts could view it as harassment.
I can't believe we're being so friendly with them.
Look, Lucy Howard is top set for everything. She lent you that Philip Pullman book.
Well, if she can turn Meredith into a reader, she must be Harry Bloody Potter.
Hello, would you like to come in?
I love these Victorian properties.
It's not a palace, but we call it home. Oh yes, apologies that my wife can't be here. Some crisis came up with a garage full of childhood memorabilia. I can't claim to understand it. What's she called? Libby.
Wait, I don't know, should I post it?
Oh my god.
Did you see that on her story?
Yeah.
Look!
Oh, it's so cute. I wish my eyes were that dark.
Wow, that was impressive.
Evan, what are you doing?
Postcard, please, guys.
Yes, I specialise in taser injuries, which can be harrowing.
And Evan, he works in radio drama?
Yes, but he's casting a film at the moment.
Television?
Yes, from a radio play that he directed.
Live long, my friend, and prosper. You must admit, there's something unfeasibly shifty about him.
Lucy's dad.
Don't say anything, but he's definitely on the creepy spectrum.
He's an actor.
I know.
Well, as you're having trouble casting a middle-aged male who's very much on the creepy side for your film...
You're a sodding genius, Cat. We need to get them over to lunch so I can study him. It's always best to watch people when they're not acting at all.
Okay.
There could be no escaping the Millhouses a second time for Libby.
I'm amazed. The only thing Evan showed any interest in was that bloody mouse.
What bloody mouse?
The bloody mouse that jumped out of the cleaning cupboard. Did I not mention it?
You certainly didn't mention it.
Mr. Milhouse caught it with a bowl and Lucy was seriously impressed. Mummy, you're crying.
I'm not.
You definitely are. Why?
Because they all now think we live in a pokey property that's crawling with rodents.
They like our house, and she kept on going on about period what's-its.
And if they hadn't liked me, they wouldn't have invited us back.
I suppose we don't have to accept the invitation.
Evan had clearly turned his life into a blazing success story. In a way, she'd always known that he would. Whereas she had a straying husband, 2 children, and an unglamorous career writing for children's magazines.
the new L, isn't it? Oh, I'm really enjoying that one.
So nobody met Libby last time?
Nice to meet you, Libby.
Good to meet you too.
This is Evan.
Hello, Evan. So, what do you do, Libby?
Journalism.
Not acting like your husband.
Libby was working in a theatre when I first met her.
Is that right? I guess we're all artists in our own way. Catherine's a lawyer. Writes a ton of poetry.
Oh, just for my own amusement.
What kind of poetry?
Dark, sinister stuff.
I'm so sorry. I would have warned you.
What do you think? We're all looking forward to the summer.
Evan, did you hear what I just said?
No need to apologise. It's a thrill.
I always cringe my stalker-like behaviour after...
Don't read your letters, just to imagine things turning out differently.
And your mother, is she okay?
We must meet for lunch. This week, if your schedule would allow for it.
Hi.
I've got an errand to run.
That's fine. I obviously didn't tell Norman about our meeting. That was the right thing to do, yes?
I guess. Is he working today?
A small part in a film, yes. Work's been thin on the ground. I actually wondered, with your connections, perhaps not.
Maybe able to find him apart.
Providing he keeps those glasses.
I may have the very thing.
The writer used real events at her daughter's school. Around Operation U-Tree. That time. In fact, the play got great publicity because of that.
Libby wondered why Evan was going into such detail, as she herself would not be able to tell Norman. Just knowing so much could place her in an awkward position. Maybe that was the point.
I've got the things! You remember Libby?
Of course I do. How are you, darling?
And well, it's lovely to see you.
And the children?
Meredith's great, thanks, Mum. Doing well at school. We'll bring her over to see you soon, won't we, Libby? The old girl was tickled pink to think we're still together. You've done a good thing, I assure you.
What if she mentions seeing me to Catherine?
Very likely she will. You were her favourite. No one will think twice about it.
Have you worked with Evan before? Oh, he's great. I don't ever feel as though I'm being directed. It happens organically. He's just...
I can assure you we're all being tightly controlled. And he's got a reputation for getting it out with pretty women. Not that you need to worry about that, Norman.
I'm not so sure, but I love threatening young girls with javelins, so this role has been right up my street. I'm told these glasses were the clincher. Ever since I bought them, I've been landing all sorts of reprobate roles.
Twice a year, Norman would take Lucy and Jenny camping. Libby would typically use the time to get things straight at home and catch up with friends.
Apparently our daughters have been competing with the same boy.
I heard. These love tussles can be managed with a little skill and diplomacy. Don't you think? CGI crap.
Yeah, it's not the same. How was Norman, by the way, in the film?
Put it like this, I wouldn't cast him as Mr. Darcy.
Can we stop talking about Norman?
Slow down a second, soldier.
There's a hotel I know, not too far from here.
Are you sure that's wise?
I've already made a reservation. Well, I can cancel it. I haven't paid anything.
This is a mistake.
What do you mean?
I feel like you're controlling people, Evan, the whole time.
A little exaggerated, Libby.
You did the same when we were at your mother's.
Did what with my mother?
You wouldn't get it. Look, I'm going.
So long, my friend. Live well and prosper.
Doesn't cost that much money. It's the best filter. We do this.
Oh, that's fucking awkward.
Looks like girls are made up.
You didn't notice the mill houses?
It really didn't mean anything.
I always wondered why he suddenly called to offer me the role of Gerard.
No, he'd had your mind for that regardless.
So you didn't persuade him in any way?
Like I said, there was no connection. And I'm sorry, but honestly, nothing happened.
Well, that's good. I'd hate to think he cast me as a sympathy thing.
Oh, for Christ's sake, Norman.
It's getting late. Perhaps we should be making tracks.
The streets of Crouch End were quiet. People turning in, hoping for better things the next day. Tomorrow, Evan would tell his work colleagues about Catherine and himself. At the very least, HR needed to know. He thought about Norman calling Catherine to voice his concerns that their spouses may be having an affair. Was it by chance that the two had spoken on the day he and Libby had gone to the cinema? The irony did not escape him that this weird man, to whom he'd handed a huge career break, was now responsible for the collapse of his marriage.
Ah, Mr. Millhauser. Didn't tonight turn out lovely?
He imagined
Told you.
that she was auditioning for the part of lady running a bed and breakfast. And he had to admit, she was pretty damn authentic.